Since becoming a Knick, Jalen Brunson has exceeded all expectations. He's been linked to Michael Jordan doing things that only MJ has done in the playoffs. But on today's show, I'm going to tell you why he's going to be even better this season. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. If you're happy that Jalen Brunson is a Knick, go down right now and smash that thumbs up icon. On today's video, I've got 4 reasons why Jalen Brunson is going to be even better this upcoming season. Better than he was last year and better than he was his first season with the Knicks. He's been awesome. He's been unreal. And I'm not sure we can ask even more, but he can be better. Let's start with just the overall numbers of what he's done his first 2 years with the Knicks. You see the stats on screen. I'm not going to read them. We know the impact that he has made. Since becoming a Knick, the Knicks went from a laughingstock to a team, in my opinion, that is one of the most well-run in the organization. There are 3 teams in the NBA over the last 2 years to each, in those years, reach the second round. The Boston Celtics, the Denver Nuggets, and the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson has put the New York Knicks in elite company in the NBA. He has also taken a major discount. He's got a C on his chest. He has been awesome. It's almost unfair to ask even more of him. But I know the type of person that Jalen Brunson is. I know that he always is going to have a chip on his shoulder. We know that he is always going to try to get better and examine his game and figure out ways to get better. And I found 4 reasons why I believe he can be even better than he was last year. And the first reason is his playoff three-point shooting. Jalen Brunson, as you saw the last 2 years with the Knicks in the regular season, shot 41% from 3 his first year and above 40% his second year. But in the postseason, he hasn't been able to knock down that three-point shot nearly as consistent. He was awesome. There's no doubt about it. He was awesome in the first 2 rounds in his first 2 years against the Heat and as well against the Cavs. And he was even better against the Sixers and just as good against the Pacers, averaging 28 and 32 in both playoff runs. But 32.5% from 3 in 2023 and 31% from 3 in 2024. I think even Jalen Brunson would tell you that those numbers are a little bit too low for his liking. Reasons for that, maybe he's tired, he's being blitzed. I don't know what it is. But if Brunson is able to get to even a 35%, 36%, or dare I say even 40%, like he always does in the regular season, he would quite literally be unstoppable in the playoffs. The guy averaged 40 and 10 against the Philadelphia 76ers while shooting below 34% from 3 in that series. Imagine if he shot 40%. It'd be bad news for the league if he figures out how to knock down that shot consistently like he does in the regular season in the postseason. A little bit more into a deep dive here. His ISO efficiency. His ISO efficiency this year was down in a major way compared to his first year with the New York Knicks. And there are a lot of reasons that could have contributed to that, right? Injuries to Julius Randle. The gravity that he brings cannot be ignored. Even if you want to trade Randle like a lot of people do, you got to admit that when he's on the court, other teams are focusing on him as he's a 3-time All-Star and a 2-time All-NBA player. And the gravity data shows you that he is at the top of the list. That's why he is always at the top of the list when it comes to being double-teamed. But listen to these numbers. Jalen Brunson operated in the ISO 422 times in the regular season last year. And including shots made and passes leading to buckets, it only resulted in 377 points, meaning he averaged 0.89 points per possession in the ISO. He only shot 39% from the field in ISO situations. There were 24 players in the NBA last season that ran 250 isolations. He was ranked 24th out of 24. He did not operate well or at a high efficiency in the ISO, which is weird because if you go back and look at what he did in 2022 and 2023, still a super large workload in the ISO at the top of the league once again in ISO situations. He was 5th in the NBA, 1.1 points per ISO. That is an unreal number. And when he got back to the playoffs, it got closer back to this number, averaging over 1 point per playoff. So I'm going to look at this as more of an outlier. But what I will say is, if he can get to this number back coming on this year, That's going to be special. It's going to be a lot easier because he's got a lot more help around him. He'll have Julius Randle, who teams will be paying attention to. He'll have Mikal Bridges in that short corner, shooting 45+%. He'll have OG Anunoby. He'll have Donte DiVincenzo. He'll have Josh Hart. He'll have his full cast of guys. JB Island will be open for business next season, and I truly believe he's going to be much more efficient in those situations. The part of the game that I am excited to see increase in workload and opportunity is his off-ball work. Jalen Brunson couldn't operate off-ball last year with Julius Randle hurt. The ball needed to be in his hands. There's a reason when he was on the floor or off the floor compared to on the floor, the Knicks averaged 18 points less per 100 possessions. And that's why he had to have the ball in his hands. But, man, when he's off the ball, he does it at one of the best numbers in the NBA. He averages just 2.5 catch-and-shoot three-pointers per game. I'd like to see that number close to 4 this season. But, man, when he gets that opportunity and he lines it up from deep in a catch-and-shoot spot, he knocks down 44.5% of his catch-and-shoot three-pointers. One of the best numbers in the NBA. Think about it like this. Of all players to play 60 games and average at least 2.6 spot-ups per game, Jalen Brunson was number 1 in points per spot-up. So how about we get the guy that's the best in the league at spotting up to spot up a little bit more. And that will happen naturally, obviously, with the ball in Julius Randle's hands, the ball in Mikal Bridges' hands, the ball in OG Anunoby's hands, the ball in Josh Hart and Donte DiVincenzo's hands. Wasn't able to do it. But, man, he did it at a really high level when his number was called. He shot 54.7% from the field. 54.7% from the field on spot-ups. His effective field goal percentage, that weighs threes more than twos because threes are more than twos, his effective field goal percentage was 70.2. And he only did it at 11.2%. But he scored on 55% of his ISO or spot-ups. And of all the players, he was in the 98.7th percentile of points per spot-up. The dude needs to be off the ball more. He's great on the ball. We know that. But with more talent, with more scoring options, I want to see him be more of a catch-and-shoot player because the data tells me he's the best player in the NBA or one of the best in the NBA when he's allowed to do that. I've got a couple more things I want to talk about on today's show as why Jalen Brunson could be better. But first, I need you guys to support the show and get your swag, your Knicks Now Chat Sports swag. Go to this link, chatsports.com/realknicks. Get your black shirt, get your blue shirt. Be a real one. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Chatsports.com/realknicks. Get it today so you're ready to go for game 1 against the Frauds up in Boston. The last one. And if you watch this channel, especially our watch parties, you know that I am very critical of Jalen Brunson's free throw shooting because I believe he is one of the best players in the NBA, and I'm going to hold him to a standard that I believe he holds himself to. And I can tell you this much. Jalen Brunson was not happy with the way that in the clutch he shot from his free throws. Overall, though, he got to the free throw line this past year more than he has in any year of his career. And I believe that number is going to stay the same, or it may go up even higher as he starts to get more of a superstar whistle. And 84.7% for the free throw line isn't bad, but it could definitely improve. I'd like to see him closer to 85, 86, 87, 88% and pick up some more easy points. But in the clutch last year, that was my biggest gripe with Jalen Brunson, his inability to consistently knock down the big-time free throws. What is clutch time? The last 5 minutes of an NBA game when the score is within 5 points. In the regular season, in those moments, he shot 75.7% from the free throw line. In the playoffs, in those moments, he shot 77.8% from the free throw line. He is way too good. He is way too clutch, and he is just too good. He's too good to shoot 75% in the clutch from the line and 77% in the playoffs. If Jalen Brunson improves his playoff three-point shooting, gets back to his 2022, 2023 ISO efficiency numbers, gets to work off ball more, and improves his clutch time free throw percentage, the sky's the limit for him. The sky's the limit for this team. He finished top 5 in the NBA voting for MVP last year. And if he improves in these 4, like I think he will because it's just going to happen, I think he could be contending for the MVP yet again as the Knicks are likely going to be at the top of the Eastern Conference. My question to you before we bounce on out of here is this. Jalen Brunson is the blank best point guard in the NBA? Let me know your thoughts down below. For me, he's the best small guard in the league. I'm going to give Luka Doncic the nod over him at the point guard spot, even though he's 6'8", just a big guard, more of a point guard. But I believe he's the best guard in the NBA. I think it's him and Curry, and they're neck and neck, and I'm always going to roll with my guy, the captain of the New York Knicks, born to play basketball. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's talk some hoops.